It's the Cable
So there's a lot of totally fine options in this pack, right? You take the Tinker, you're probably getting Blightsteel back. Oko, Shinobi, Pessimization. Yeah, it's just a lot of good cards. You're probably not pick winning Shinobi, but like Oko or Tinker are the intuitive first picks. I think I'm going to take Gut. Tinkering for Blightsteel is definitely a very meathead way to win. Could certainly take the Tinker and hope. The issue is if the Blightsteel doesn't come back, now you have to go get some fucking value piece and, and grind people down. I don't really want to do that. I'm just going to take the Gut. I'm just going to take it real simple. Had I taken the Tinker, I'd be on balance right now, though, for sure, for sure. In terms of following up Gut, we have two really pleasant options. There's a Shieldred here and a Flage. I do think Boros is better than Red-Black in this cube. Normally I would take a Shieldred a bit higher. There's just no spot where Shieldred's really bad, right? Like, if you're playing against a combo opponent, it just like locks them out. They can't play their draw sevens and stuff. Flage is some nice inevitability, though. It's going to make a slightly better companion to this Gut, I think. The Passage is tempting. And interesting packs. Yeah, if I'd taken Shieldred, I'd be on Wheel of Fortune now, and I'd have a kind of a similar bent to the last deck. Going Boros. I think the pick here is a little different than what most people would do. I'm going to take the Currency Converter. And I think Overlord would be the best wheel. Oh, shit, what up? Hey, Mogilning, thanks for the saw, thanks for 23 months there. Never Thopter combo? Pretty much never Wombat Man, yeah. Yeah, white is not open, unfortunately. Maybe that was an advantage to taking Shieldred. There's a lot of red loot effects that pair well with Converter, Mio. We might wheel that Oliphant we passed earlier, too. Yeah, I like this Pyromancer here. I think you do take Sacred Foundry over Pyromancer, but there's more where that came from in red. So the Currency Converter isn't just like a... If we had taken the Tinker Pack pick one, we'd be on Greaves, by the way. And just like hasty Blightsteel is where it's at. If you're going for the meathead wins. What was I saying? Yeah, Converter's not just filtering, it's also like a pile of 2/2s. If you have other cards that are naturally looting already. This is between Glimmerlens and Oust. I do like Glimmerlens with Gut, right? And then like, that's just like multiple permanents. Oust is nice to get a large critter out of the way. Both work well here. I'm not huge on this pack. I'm going to take Metamorph with the idea that if we get a Pyrogoyf, those two cards will play well together. Not quite in the mood for this one. Stackzilla over on YouTube said, "Oh, Tinker." Not this time, Stackzilla. I did think about it, though. I did think about it. I think we started the stream out with an artifact deck. Hey, the Tinker would have, or the Blightsteel would have wheeled too, Yeah. Sorry for the yawn. I think the 3-mana 2/2 is actually better than Mach-D and Sky Snares there. But we already have some 3s. This card's kind of just okay. If I was curating a vintage cube, I don't think I would include it. But there's nothing like wrong with it being in. The fact that it can be played for white or blue mana is kind of nice. I'd like it a little bit better if the 4-mana Cat, the Flash 4/3 was still in. Because then that'd be another blue flyer. How did clones work back when Repeated Legends removed the opposing legend? So there was a period in time where if you both of the same legend were in play, they would just die. And clones were just removal spells for legends. Actually, top 8'd at SCG Invitational off that strat. I was playing a control deck, and it had a real rough time with Geist of St. Traft and Thrun. Pretty good anti-control cards. So I just played a few Phantasmal Images in my deck. I'm just like, alright, 2 mana, kill your thing. Nice to see that Pyrokinesis wheel. And we got 3-man Inspector and Overlord here. And I know I was talking about how I wanted the Overlord to win, to wheel. But I kind of like the 3-man Inspectors, like a couple of things for gut. So I'm going to take the 3-man. I'm going to go back on my own desires there. I'm going to disagree with my past self. I'll let the Endstone go around to the Tinker person. Pretty fun. Did my past self have the gut? Well, the gut was the pack one, pick one, so yes. Can Phantasmal Image target something with hexproof? Yeah, the clones don't target. They just come into play as that thing. So they don't interact with hexproof at all. How long has Caleb multi-streamed on YouTube? Literally just today. This is my maiden voyage of the YouTube multi-stream. So folks that are watching me on Twitch, if you prefer watching on YouTube, that is now an option. I expect that won't be many folks, but, you know, there's a couple people. One of my mods already said that YouTube is better on his mobile phone, so that's been nice for him. Finally went through the rigmarole to set it up. And I made a few mistakes, but with the settings and stuff. A few hiccups. But once it's going, it'll just go. I think I dig a Laelia here. Kind of always in the mood for a Laelia. I like the Wasteland too. Get a nice little card in the graveyard for Flage. Ooh. Speaking of good lands, I'm gonna grab Crocus over Strip Mine. Pack one, pick one. I actually prefer Strip Mine to Crocus, but part of that is because I have a very good win rate with the mono green landfall deck, and that deck is very good if you have a Strip Mine, and it's kind of just fine if you don't have a Strip Mine. And it's almost always open, so this Crocus is gonna be amazing for us, though. We have all these legends that is just gonna like save. Opponent points a removal spell at your Laelia, you're like, all right, bounce it. It can be very frustrating to play against, on top of like interacting with the opponent's creatures, right? Does it use an intermediary server, or am I streaming directly to both? Streaming directly to both, yeah. Silver Hellfire says that YouTube is accessible at their work, and Twitch is not. Oh, cool. Another little perk there. A new camera angle? Sort of. The angle is actually identical, but it's a wider focus. I was recording some content for a YouTube video. I've been messing with that. I'm gonna grab this Eagles of the North. I do like Chainsaw, but fixing is fixing. And if we get a Solitude later, or a Chrome Mox even, I'll be really happy that I have this Eagles. Currently, it gets the Sacred Foundry, you know. Does YouTube get feet cam? Of course. You think I would do all the time to set up a multi-stream if I wasn't spreading some juicy feats around? Yeah, Fable's dope, but we have plenty of threes, and Guide of Souls is truly messed up. Thinking about Bone Crusher Giant versus Council's Judgment here. Giant's kind of a nice piece of gas, solid body. Council's Judgment sure does answer everything, though. Kind of close. Don't love the comes into play tapped land. I don't think we need it. Well, I don't think we're that hard up for fixing. Descend into Storms is okay. Burst Lightning is like borderline a sideboard card here, because we already have a Shock and a Pyrokinesis. There's some matchups you might want more, though. Is there a second chat you have to read now? Yeah. I technically have them combined in my... I should pick my card. I technically have them combined in... and I could just be reading that feed, but it's like built into my streaming software and very annoying, so I haven't been doing that. I literally just have two chats next to each other right now. I'll adjust stuff and like figure out what works well for me and my preferences and such. Does one streaming service benefit me more? Well, I haven't really streamed on YouTube at all. I don't currently have subscribers set up for it or anything like that. It's very... The monetization's like very minimal. So currently Twitch, but who knows? Have we seen Galvanic Discharge yet? I don't think so. Your wheels are just turning because we're pairing these energy cards together. Rancord Malone says that Roku TV doesn't have an official Twitch app, and so now they're happy to watch live streams on the TV. Oh, very fun. Y'all are making me seem silly for not setting this up earlier. It might get awkward sometimes to hear me respond to comments you don't see. Yeah. I'll try to not make it be nonsensical. I'm usually pretty good about that. Repeating questions and what. Hey, Top Shez 02, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 3 months there. Yeah, you can combine chats, but apparently Twitch has a rule against having, like, YouTube chatters displayed on your Twitch stream or something. Apparently that's a rule they have, so... I'm not sure how well that gets enforced. Hell yeah, Pitchwind. Love to hear it. All right. This is a juicy pack. This is a juicy pack and a half. Love the fetch in the starting town. The marsh flats of the starting town there. Solitude is excellent. I think what I want to make sure that I get out of this pack is the Parallax Wave. Parallax Wave just kind of lets you win every creature mirror that you have, and it's not bad in other matchups either. You know, another streamer who shows both chats, they're shown in separate streams. Maybe that's the workaround. Maybe. That it's, like, not getting combined. I could see that having a different rule set up. Also, like I said, it might just, like, not be something that's enforced all that well. My understanding of it all is pretty vague, so I wouldn't take anything that I say without a grain of salt, too. Because a lot of this is just me muddling through, figuring things out, reading through what other people have said on the internet, you know? Holy shit. These are some good-ass Moxen right here. This is some good-ass Moxen. I guess I'll take a Mox Pearl. God, there's a fucking Ragavan and a Chrome Mox in there, too. Jesus. Hey, good night, Blair. So I think Screaming Nemesis is the best card in this pack, but I think Winds of Abandon might be more what we need. Or maybe I just want Robber the Rich. One more, like, haster for the Raptor to hit, maybe. We have 2 Moxen. I think we're going to be playing a 2-drop on turn 1 a solid number of the time. If we had a Johnny, that Bombardment would be pretty sick. Currently, we don't have a lot of token production, which hinders it a little bit. I think I'm just going to grab Lion Sash for the sideboard. You could take Bombardment and try to wheel Rabblemaster. That wouldn't be the worst. Oh, there's the fucking of Johnny, of course. Well, now I know what I want to wheel. I think I'm going to take Lauren for the sideboard over Fiery Confluence. Fiery Confluence is totally reasonable. Alright, I'll take the damn Fiery Confluence. Lantern would be a solid sideboard card. The Monolith mana does pretty much nothing in this deck. I'm going to take Evora. I think it's good here. Ooh, a Flame Slash. Nice little upgrade to Firebolt or something. Ooh. Hell yeah, Mellow. This has been an excellent pack 3. I agree, Kenexai. It has indeed been excellent. Just need to wheel that Goblin Bombardment. Pack 3, pick 8, 4th Hurlingus, let's go. I don't think that's likely. I think I like Suplex over these other cards. Carnage Interpreter is pretty funny with Flage. If I had Arena, I think I might like Carnage Interpreter in this deck. To, like, launch it in with haste. That's very satisfying to do. Yeah, we have a few synergies with the Currency Converter. The Abora and the Intim. Could do a little something. Does the Bombardment wheel? It does. Hell yeah. I need to make another cut, though. I actually might like Winds of Abandon over Absent. I don't hate the idea of playing 16 lands. We have a lot of like looting and ways to hit land drops and a pretty tight curve. You don't think Metamorph seems great? I think you're right. I mostly scooped Metamorph with the idea that it would be good if we got a Pyroglyph, and then we never got that. It's not a bad way to flip it in Johnny, but that's about it. I'm with you there. This might just be the deck, huh? Kind of an exciting deck there with the double Moxen. I think this is a pretty good Amped Raptor, too. We only have 8, 9 non-hits. And then Guide of Souls into Amped Raptor and opens up all the 3 drops. There'd only be 4 whiffs. What is the number of hits misses to make Raptor worth? I think if you're playing an aggro deck like Boros, Raptor is pretty much always worth to run. If your 2-mana 2/1 doesn't draw a card some small percentage of the time, it's still a good card. Like sometimes you play your Cascade effect in it, and it hits an awkward card, right? And you don't like discredit it because of that. Not a big deal. Sure. Actually, there's 2 extra white sources, right? The Pearl and the Caracas. I think I'm going to play one more mountain. It was weird that Magic Online suggested 5 and 5, and then I cut a plains and added one. They suggested a mountain. Only missing the 4th? Yeah, I mean, Ocelot Pride might be better than 4th in this deck. Galvanic Blast would be a slight upgrade over one of the burn spells. Which did happen earlier when I fucked up my exporting. When I fucked up which audio channels to stream to YouTube. I clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, reasonable curve here. I'm not super stoked about a non-Mox opener with 2 in the deck. Pretty glad we exiled Metamorphosis Fanatic so they didn't just miracle it on turn 2. That would have been fucked up. Probably gonna be bidding the Eagles for Sacred Foundry. Play Guide. Maybe Cycle Blood token. Maybe not. I guess maybe not is gonna have it. Currency Converter would have been excellent pre-Mind Twist, Tom. Ooh. Well, this Fiery Confluence just got a little bit zestier. Oh, man. Not only did I not hit the land drop that I wanted, we're also exiling this Firebolt where it's not going to be able to cleanly answer that Dothy. I still explore. Interesting. I guess the Ice Still is going to help them find Academy more often. Ooh, they just milled Bloodbraid Challenger. That's a really spicy self-mill. It's going to be just infinite gas. We'll see if this, looks like they did not have a green source to fetch out for the Bloodbraid this turn. Fortunate for me, eh? You think this is the first Dothy Voidwalker Academy deck you've seen? I think it's the first Ice Till Academy deck I've seen. Yeah, real interesting stuff, I had an Academy deck that was trying to reanimate earlier. That was kind of cool. Hate it. Hate that for me. Well, I'm glad they sacked their Voidwalker to give me my Lelia back. That was an interesting decision on their part. I think that was wrong, tapping the Crocus there. Because now we don't have a white source to run out of Johnny. I'm just going to loot away the Lelia. Damn. Yeah, the cool thing about playing a Johnny this turn is you get the 2 triggers from Guide of Souls, then you get to attack and hit them to 6, and then any land just gets you the Fire Confluence win. So maybe just like letting them have Lelia for a turn wouldn't have mattered very much. And now the Bloodbraid Challenger might just like find them a clean answer to the Guide of Souls anyway. We just won't have access to that damage. But they tapped their red source to loot. So they're not interested in the Bloodbraid anyway. What incarnation? What happens if I play Stomp off Bone Crusher Giant? How much energy does that use? It works in cost 2. What if I'd only had 2 energy? Would I not have had the option of Bone Crushing? It would still let me. Cool. They're digging for something. I don't know what. I definitely would have brought back Bloodbraid Champion the other turn instead of looting. 10 mana. Could be Ballista on 5. Sure, Pest Infestation with 1 mana floating. You got it. I will choose to block. I have seen better attacks. Pretty easy to forget about that sort of thing when you just like had this turn where you're looting with Relic of Sauron, you're down taking Karn, you got all this stuff going on, you just played this huge pacifistation. And then you're like, okay, well I got this whole board of life gain when they die critters. I might as well attack with my 4/4, and you just like plumb forget about the Ajani. Pretty easy to do. Suplex is gonna come in for sure. Maybe just 1-for-1 over Chainsaw. I do like Chainsaw with a Johnny. We have a few other ways of flipping it, though. Now this is an exciting opener. This hand do indeed fuck, yeah. Probably just turn 1 double crittering, set up the Glimmer Lens card draw. could turn 1 Flage. I might loot the Flage away with the blood token. Ooh, they got some mana as well, It's a scary amount of mana. Ooh. No, my gut. Hey, humanity, thanks for the 95 months there. Cube. You know it. It's a Vamp Tutor. It is. Hey, sup, radio. Sup, everybody. Yeah, they're at 11, and they still have this Mana Crypt. If I'm them, I'm probably Vamp Tutoring for Pest Infestation, Just blow up my Moxen, make a pile of critters. Looks like that's what's happening here. I'm going to hold on to this Flage. I'm just going to use it to pop a Pest token. Let me get in with everybody. Oh man. Oh man. I regret playing my Flage. Yeah, the idea was I didn't want them trading with Lelia, but that might have just been wrong, It certainly feels wrong now that I'm losing my Ajani and not getting the currency converter down this turn. You would have blown up your own Mana Crypt. Yeah, Mana Crypt's a little scary against a Boros aggro opponent. Serbilium has arisen. Yeah, very tempting to just absent the Relic of Sauron or something. But I think I like getting this converter engine rolling. Also gets me a 5th card in the graveyard for Flage, but I mean, I'm probably getting wastelanded anyway. More draws towards another white source. Green Sun for 4, sure. Got me. I was excited to hit my second white source to bring Flage back, and then I was like, okay, well, fair enough, Parallax Wave, fair enough. Card's so dumb. Extremely unreasonable Magic card. Now they're at 1 and I have the Flage in the bin. Not ideal for them. Silver Headfire was talking about absenting the Relic now that they can't replay it. Are you talking about Post Wasteland? The issue with that is Post Wasteland, I didn't have a second white source for the absent anyway. We only got the second white source by looting it away, right? I win. Does the cube have all the Parallax Wave infinite combos? It does not. Is that the biggest nerf from Legend rule change? Coca Show? No. We were talking about clones earlier, and clones as answers to Legends. Phantasmal Image is probably the card that got the biggest nerf from the legendary creature change. Could run out this Glimmer Lens as a draw engine, but I think I just want to bin it. You can spend 2 mana for a 2/2 here, or you can play 1 mana, get a 2/2, and grow the Evora and loot through the deck quickly. More immediate churn. Just cruising through some tokens. Parallax Wave is pretty good at that. You're not loving the piss lands? Oh, the all yellow mountain. Yeah, the yellow borders are very odd to me. I do like the vibrant colors and the actual art here. Opponent comfortably underneath library. Oh shit, hey Gurgles, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 39 months. Guess there's no real benefit to looting now. We have some hasters that Amped Raptor could hit. I guess I'd jam it. Wonder what your out could be to this sort of board. What would you want to start with? Balance isn't amazing. You're like mind twisting yourself a bit. Sure. And it is dead. Flame slashing before attacking means that Shieldred doesn't block Evora very well because Evora has trample. Didn't really matter here, but you never know, right? Didn't seem like a Pyrokinesis matchup, did it? But I think Suplex and Winds of Abandon are both interesting. I like how Caracas lines up against Shieldred. We might see that happen later. I'm gonna cut Firebolts. And then I think the rest of this is groovy. This is good. Animate the Copter and block the trample. That soaks 5, and then there's 6 more damage coming through. Remember that I've got a blood token in play that I can always cycle to get 1 more damage on the Evora. So well, I almost like this hand, I think if someone watched all of today's stream and they'd never seen me draft Cube before, they'd get a pretty good appreciation for how much I like Currency Converter. Huh. Yeah. Alright, It's tempting to lead on Inspector, then just crack Clue on 2. Could hit a Mox off the top. How hot would that be? Well, at least I'm not drawing that land. Wonder if I was supposed to just play Thraben Inspector this turn, and then I could play Lelia with the Crocus protection. Kind of looks like it worked out. Do I want to rob her in? Oh, we can grow with Guide. If we just dump, if we don't play towards Lelia. It might be correct to jump Lelia, just because it's the most damage. Robber's pretty fucked up to give flying to, though. Reach and flying, right? A little bit of redundancy there. Yeah, when they didn't jump Lelia, I kind of assumed they had Academy. Why didn't they play it last turn, though? Maybe they just didn't have it in hand. And they were like, yes, best top deck. Sure. Ooh, Smuggler's Copter is not bad. Little flying threat there. Now that they have the Academy in play, I think it makes sense to be more free with my Guide of Souls. They don't actually want to trade creatures, because then that inhibits their mana. Interesting. Wasn't expecting the trade for Guide. Thought it might happen with Robber. Yeah, Vor is sweet with Faithless Looting and like Wheel of Fortune and stuff. Gets out of control pretty fast. It took me a little bit to warm up to Evora. I was like, I guess I was just like playing it like by itself, and I was like, I guess this card's okay. But then when you play it like as part of a loot package, it gets a lot more exciting. I wonder if I should crack this Clue token at end of turn, or if I should just leave the Crocus up. Make sure Lelia never catches any strays. Lelia does also count the cards, yeah. A cool cube combo with Lelia is, now I forgot the fucking name of the card. 1 in a black instant, or maybe it's a sorcery, I don't know. But you, like, flip over cards from the top of your library until you hit 2 doubles. Tainted Pact, that's the one. You can, like, just very easily kill somebody. One shot. That was a baller Historic deck for a bit. Oh, people did that in Historic. That's fun. Sneak Attack coming down. What's the best thing they could sneak in? Archon? Archon would be nasty. Well, I've answered my own question of whether I should crack the Clue or not. Definitely cracking that shit. think Inti's better than Chainsaw. Chainsaw does help inhibit the Academy, but... Well, maybe I should do both, huh? Nah. No, let's get our loot on. Oh, you know what I could have done? Is I could have played the Chainsaw, used that to kill a soldier token, and then with the Inti trigger on the stack, used Karakas to bounce the Inti. That'd been kind of cute. Check and see if I played a land yet. I don't think I did, yeah. No, I wouldn't have, right? Because I just held land Inti and the Chainsaw for turn. This was a high damage turn. Nice little mold of 5. Yeah, not bad. Oh shit, what up? Hey, you're in stream. Thanks for the 45 months. Probably just cracking Clue, but we have some options here, huh? Between the Absent and the Pyrokinesis. You think the converter is going to carry? Well, it sounds like currency converter. Clean? Yeah, pretty clean. Don't mind me over here, gaining some value. Ooh. It's a land that spits out a 2-2, so way better than usual. This is about when we want to stop playing lands. Does that mean we Sauron? Because I just annihilated the right of the row here and here. I think I'm rather loot here than spit out a 2-2. I think looting is pretty close to drawing a card. I read an interesting article is not the right word. interview with the guy that played Saruman. Is that Richard Lee? Is that his name? And he was mid-interview. Christopher Lee, thank you. And he's mid-interview when he finds out that that they're going to be making the Lord of the Rings movies. He's like literally talking to a SFX writer, and he's asking him questions about this like Robin Hood movie or TV show, some just like garbage Robin Hood TV show from the 90s, and he's playing a wizard there. And he's like, well, the reason I'm not doing this show for the money. The main reason I took this was because I am treating it as like serious practice for my dream role, which would be Gandalf. If there's ever a Star Wars or a Lord of the Rings movie one day, I would like to be considered for Gandalf. So I'm gonna play as many like old wizards as I can, you know. And the SFX guy's like, oh yeah, that's happening. Peter Jackson got the rights. And Christopher Lee just like stops everything, and he's just like giddy with excitement. Starts like going into detail about all the difficulties of properly translating Lord of the Rings, the Battle of Helm's Deep, and all the different wizards he could play and stuff. It's fun. Definitely the most excited anyone has ever been about Lord of the Rings. I think I saved it. If anyone's curious. Christopher Lee was in a metal band, yeah. Yeah, we've jammed his tunes on stream before. Played an excellent Saruman. I like never cast. Pretty much never cast this card, but that seems reasonable to me. This song was cool in Terminator. Was it? I finally saw Terminator 2 for the first time the other day. Kind of fun, kind of campy. A little bit worried about that Overlord. It was so huge when it came out. It was. And like obviously I'd seen a bunch of like the references to it and stuff over the years, right? And like I remember everybody quoting it and stuff at school and whatnot. But like all those quotes make a lot more sense in the context of the movie. They're kind of meaningless, separated, of course. If I get manatized here, I'm gonna be real mad. Yeah, I've been largely enjoying Rings of Power 2 Groove in 1. It's a fun fun take on material we don't have a take on. Season 2, a lot better than Season 1, of course. A lot more interesting things going on. Fuck. So we have 5 damage on board here. I am kind of regretting saving my Lilium. Ooh. Hell yeah. And suddenly there was 9 damage. Seems like a matchup for Winds of Abandon, huh? I almost like Damn. Just another sweeper thing. Currency Converter did a shitload of work that game. Well, I think Fiery Confluence is better than Damn. It can be a sweeper, but it can also go face. Yeah, the Converter is really good in this deck, huh? We have so many random incidental loots and stuff. I'm just making sure you don't flood to Bejeebus. Like, that game I would have flooded out if I didn't have a serious filtering engine. What did I add? Wins? Maybe I'm just supposed to cut Absent. Keep it simple. It's an exciting opener. No turn 1 cat here. The Mox Jet is important so that you don't get mana tithed. It's very possible I should have actually let on the Boulder and Epic here for the turn 2 gut serve. Yeah, we're certainly good on red sources. And then, like, looting also gets us closer to the second white source for the Parallax Wave. Well, dicks, Good-ass Wasteland there. Oh, I wonder if I'm supposed to stack that and sack the Mox Jet so I get the extra energy before the guide trigger resolves, and then I could jump the guide and have them take 7. Now here I'm losing the Mox anyway. Funny. I didn't do it because, like, for one, it took me a second to think of it, and then 2, keeping the Mox brings me close to the Parallax Wave, which should be game winning if we get to land it. It's actually a very awkward attack, isn't it? Because we serve with and like sack the figure, and they double block 1, and the first strike kills it. So we would get 4 damage in, or 6 damage if you serve with gut. It's just not enough. You were thinking sack the Epic here, but we weren't sure that we were going to hit the land, Turkey. We didn't know we were going to hit land number 3 there. And you can see how these, like, random creatures pairing with the Thalia is awkward for my Menace tokens. Just play as if you're going to hit the land. Sure. I think this lure and attack makes sense if they have another block for the Menace, eh? They're offering a trade with my figure here, so then if I hit the land for the figure, I won't have like a 4/4 brick in the Lauren anyway. Ooh. Stop it. You didn't realize Caleb multi-streams to YouTube now? Yeah, this is my first attempt. Lion Sash about to get huge. About to get real fucking huge, yeah. Kind of wonder if I should just offer the trade with figure. If it's going to be a 4/4 here. Makes sense to me. Putting it on the Thalia. So now my Menacer can disconnect. They hold the figure off, but... This fucking Thalia, You think they forgot the Menace? I think so, too. It'd be funny if they, like, remove the unequipped now. Probably correct, right? Like, the Lion Sash can hold off the figure by itself. Four plus 9's 13 damage. Guess I'm taking it. Deciding whether to crack a clue or loot with converter. I think looting with converter is a little better. I was really hoping to hit a land there. Because then we'd only be one land drop away from this confluence. It's a very interesting spot, in my opinion. We can play the Bone Crusher Giant and the Pyrokinesis, but we have to Giant first, which means then they'll know what's up, and I won't be able to kill them here. I think it's correct, though. Yay. That was kind of a sick fucking game, right? That was some sick... We just, like, never hit the fucking fourth land for the confluence. They're sitting there at 6 life the whole time. And we're, like, looting and scrambling and cracking clues. Like, oh, man. Some real cool stuff, that game. The old Xaxes, yeah. Currency converter. Currency converter helped out, right? Got us there. Got us some kind of there. The 15 lane life is very tense. It's closer to 16. I treat the eagle as a land, and there's 2 mocks.